Alright guys, welcome back to the Combustion Gamer YouTube channel. If you're watching this video, it's going to be over on TCG Studios, whatever, I might rebrand that to some extent, but that's where it's going to be for right now. Anyways, we're doing some retro gaming. So we are going back 20 years in time, and we are going to be playing SeaWorld Adventure Park Tycoon. One of my favorite games to play, actually. So we are back, gonna be playing it, checking it out, and let's see what we got going on. We don't have any saved games right now, so let's get into what we can do. So it's pretty easy. You got the campaign, we have the beginner sections, the medium, the great expansion, and also the keep them happy experts and all of that stuff. So you got all of that right there, so a lot of different stuff to do, and you have all of the different you've got all the different goals that you're supposed to meet. Pretty easy, honestly. It ends up being pretty good. Then we can, of course, go to any one of the three parks: SeaWorld Orlando, SeaWorld San Antonio, or SeaWorld San Diego. At this point, you didn't have SeaWorld Ohio anymore, so they didn't have that in the game, quite obviously. But yeah, you got three different parks, all pretty well allowed, with plenty of space to really build out, which makes things very, very fun. When it comes down to actually building out the park, I think my favorite is probably the San Diego sandbox map, just because of which way the camera is setting, because you can't move the camera around, you can't rotate, you can only look at it this way. You can't rotate the camera, which is kind of annoying, but you get it. It works. You can get stuff done. So anyways, but let's get into one of the missions. So this one we've already completed, so let's try running smoothly and let's see what we got, and we'll show you the glitches and stuff that we have going on with the game that we can actually fix, luckily, which is kind of nice. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so here we are. So we got ourselves our mission. So this park is pretty much up and running, but the staff need to be hired and put to work. You will need to build 2 staff rooms, hire your mechanics to keep things running smoothly, and cleaners to make sure the place is neat and tidy. So to hire the staff, you have to build the staff rooms first. So build 2 staff rooms, hire mechanics and cleaners, and get the litter count down to 10 items or less, which I can also show you a way of fixing that as well. So here we go. Hit the button. Now you see how stuttery it is right now. It is like very stuttery. Well, this is all because of one simple thing on this game. This map right up here. So hit that. It automatically smooths out. It's all because of this map right here. I don't totally know why. I think basically it's because of all of these dots and stuff that the computer just cannot render it quite well, because you have all of this you have to render, plus all of this you have to render. It ends up being a lot that has to be rendered, and I think that ends up being a problem. But you can see how nice and smooth the map becomes once you close out that map, and really you don't need it with how the map size is. Plus also, if you need to, you can zoom out, zoom in, and it works out really good. So we'll work on that, work on our goals here in just a second. So I always like, let me turn down my audio in my ear just a bit, just a little bit loud, can't really think a whole lot. So let's look at the options that we have in game once we're on a map. So we've got the speeds. We can speed them up to 2 times speed, or we can do 3 times speed. 3 times speed seems a little bit obnoxious, honestly, but I mean, if you want to really move time along, it does help, and really you can see how fast the money goes up and stuff. But I kind of like letting it sit at 2 speed. That's just how I roll. So let's look at what we got right here. We've got our notifications down here on the bottom. That can become very annoying. I remember very, very well. Very annoying when all of these just continuously are scrolling. It gets very annoying very fast. We have our research that we can do, so this is going to help us with pieces of scenery and also attraction improvements. So we can scroll that up to like $250 daily spending. We also have our conservation fund, which we can also increase the funding for that as well to $250 a day, because hey, we're SeaWorld, so we've got to keep working on saving the animals and stuff, because hey, that is what we do. We've got the boats, we got our trucks, and we are ready to go and save an animal in need whenever. One thing that we don't have in this park is any animals. So that's one thing that we can work on in future. We also have a nice finance page. This thing is so cool to look at, and it will show up red if you're losing money, so it's really cool to be able to look at that. Let me see here. So you have the money you're getting from attractions, the money you're getting from retail sales, demolition today, and then you got your total income. Then you also have your average daily income, which will pop up once you get through some more days. We also have how much money we're spending on construction costs, stock purchases today, so that's for food and whatnot, wages, and also scenery purchases. So all of that's right in there. Let me see here. So then we also have our scenery right over here. Kind of a small window, honestly. I didn't remember it being that small, but it is. We got our regular path, we got our grass, and we also have our waiting line path that we can be able to put in. And then all of our features that we can put right here along the path. You see where my mouse is. We can put different things all throughout the park, scenery-wise, like signs and whatnot. And then, of course, we also have flowers that we can put down. We have bushes and shrubs. I'm not a big fan of the bushes and shrubs. Honestly, they've always been pretty ugly. I've always hated them in this game. We also have ornaments. So we have like a little pool. We've got some sharks. We can also do some nice fountains and whatnot. And then we also have trees. So hey, if you want a palm tree, we've got all kinds of palm trees. And just for those that love the environment, we can put down plastic palm trees. No, we're not going to do that. Those things are ugly. I don't know why that's even in this game. Plastic palm trees. Why is it in the game? I don't know. Seems very idiotic. Let's see here. So what do we got going on? So right over here, we got ourselves a little dolphin store. It's doing pretty good. We need to build our mechanics, but we're going to keep showing you through the game here just in a second. Of course, we have our objectives that we can click on. This right here, this is pretty... Thank you. So we got our new conservation, saved a eel, so that's pretty cool. We got our main info, we got our staff, buildings, items, litter, objects, etc. And then of course we also have the cleanliness of the park and whatnot. This all shows up on the opinion of the average guest, so that's very helpful to be able to look at. Of course we have... Don't do this because this will like really mess up your game there, as you can see how stuttery it is. But basically that's showing you the average happiness of all the guests, which honestly we don't need to be looking at because it doesn't really matter that much. Then you got all of the buildings you can go through, and you can actually go by the repair state, the faults that it's had, the age. You can look at the income just today, and there you go, you can look at just the income, which is really, really cool. You got the cost today, profit today, average profit today. It's very detailed on the profits. It's really cool how you can really see how much you're making. Waiting line time, customers today. So how many customers, who's had the most customers? That's Bingo Joe's, over 200. We have the amusements, animals, drink. So there's the drinks right there. Food. So all of this is all the food options. You can even look at restrooms. Yes, we make profits in restrooms. And so all the restaurants have restrooms in them, so you have that to be able to look at. We got the shows, don't currently have any shows going, and then we can also look and see what rides and attractions are open or closed at the moment. So all of that, a lot of different detail to be able to look at. And then of course we have our basic options. We got our object outlines. Now, object outlines, you can see right here, this only shows up when like guests and stuff are like behind a piece of scenery or behind a building. Don't really need that. We also have our extra water animation that we can add. So I think you're going to see it right here, Journey to Atlantis. Turn that off. Just saves a little bit on what the computer has to do. And then you do right there, and it's like just a little bit of water animation, which works out good. You got your sound and everything. There is music, but I don't want to play it because I don't want it to lose my mind too much. We can also save, restart scenario, load, and everything right there. So let's get into our scenario here very quickly. We're going to go ahead and get our little building. Now you're going to hit spacebar to be able to spin this thing around. Place that right there. We also need another one for our crew, so let's see if we can find another spot for that. I think we can put it right back there. I'm going to go into our scenery editor. There we go. So here we go. We got both of our things. And you saw that right there, and you heard that little noise. We are good to go. Now we're going to do staff control. So what we can do, we come into here, and we can actually go in between and see the animal specialists, the cleaners, and all that information to really see what's going on. We can also, once we have animals, we can actually see what their food, care, habitat, and happiness levels are. Very important when keeping those taken care of. And we need mechanics. So we're going to hire 4 mechanics. We got John Fixit, we got Larry Mindit, we got Errol Minder, and we got Jeffrey Repair. Love the names. And we also need some cleaners. So we got Rebecca Sweep, Nona Bucket, Shirley Moppet. I never read these names before. Sonia Duster, Emma Cleanit, Shirley Dusty, Danielle Sweep. What was the other name that I just saw? Tanya Tidy Up and Edith Tidier. That's funny. I like those names. That's pretty funny. Alright, so they're going, so we got them now. We can actually click on guests and stuff and follow them around. Let's see here. I want to follow one of my cleaners here if we can. Can't seem to quite click on them. There we go. Shirley Dusty, we got litter collected, so we can really just follow them around. And stuff. So last 3 messages. So they're basically trashing the guests for not using the trash can. So they actually have thoughts and stuff. You can come through and you can tell them what to do. So a lot like Roller Coaster Tycoon, for those of you who might know what that game entails. You can do set up so they only clean litter, or they only clean the restrooms, or they only empty the trash cans. Saved another eel there, so that's pretty cool. So let's see here why we have all that working on. You see, we have a lot of litter in the park, so all of the cleaners, they're going to be working on that. So for right this second, let's build ourselves a attraction with some animals. And we have the different price and stuff. You can also see the intensity rating there. So like how exciting those are going to be for the fans and stuff. So right there you have shock encounter, very beautiful looking. You have the old Key West. Let's take a look at this. So this is the old Key West Stadium. It looks really, really cool. Definitely a lot of work went into the modeling of that. We also have the old Clyde and Seymour Pirates show. So it has the ship and everything. So a lot of these are modeled after SeaWorld Orlando. And then, of course, we have Shamu Stadium right there. So pretty cool. So let's go and get ourselves, we have some sea turtles, we got some dolphins. Let's see, we got the Rocky Point Preserve, we got the Pacific Point Preserve. We're going to go with dolphins right here, because we don't really need to expand our park a whole lot, since this is just a little bit of a, oh, whatever you want to call it, a scenario objective. So we have our prices, we have our food supply, when do we have the vet and also the animal specialist come back and resupply the food and everything, so we have that all going on. So we have 2 dolphins in here. We can look and see he's young, he's moving around, happy, playing, sleeping, etc. And then food and habitat opinions, so we can watch all of that. So now that we have animals, we're going to go ahead, got a new attraction update, so we can do get our vet and our animal specialists. So now we have them, and we can actually go through and call them to the attraction, and they're going to end up showing up and working on it. So let's see if they end up coming here, as our cleaners continue to try and wage war on all the trash that people have laid down. So here we go, we got our Edward Groomer. He is heading on his way, and he is an animal specialist. And we also have our Dr. Fishbender, who's our vet. So he's going to go and do like shots, be able to take care of the animals, check on them, see how they're doing, check their weight, all that stuff. So we got lots of people lined up for the dolphins. Good night, but it's the first attraction here that we built that has animals, so honestly it makes sense. So let's see here. So where we at on the trash? We got lots of trash going on, and we got a bunch of people. So we are going to call in all the cleaners that we can. We're going on a major hiring spree until we can't hire anymore. There it is. We can't hire any more cleaners. So now all the cleaners heading out, and they will do the cleaning that they need to do because, unfortunately, our guests are very, very nasty. So one way that I found that I still remember of how to fix this very problematic park is you come through and you got these smoothie carts and whatnot. Well, these people just always, they get the stuff and then they just throw it on the ground. So guess what? To beat this objective, it's really easy. You come through and you just delete all of these booths and stuff, because honestly you do want to kind of come through when you're going to put these down. You want to put them through in an area where you have lots of trash cans, a lot of sitting areas, so you kind of have to do think out when you actually place these down in park. And so you can come through, we can delete a good portion of these, and that's going to help reduce how much trash we have in the area. And you can see now that we have it, we got a California sea lion has been rescued. Sweet. We got the trash slowly starting to come down. You can see a lot of people want to be able to come in and see the dolphins, so we can actually raise the price there because they are such a commodity. We can continue to make money. Coming over here, this is the haunted lighthouse, and we deleted the our roller coaster there. That's not what we wanted to do. That's one thing, you got to make sure that you're hitting the right thing. But we do have a haunted lighthouse 4D experience here, and so you can actually see that we can change when everything gets started by how many guests are in it. So we can actually move that up to 40. We'll come over to Journey Atlantis. We can actually move that up to 6 people. That's the maximum that are allowed in. So that kind of helps with how many people are getting into these rides, so that kind of helps with how many people are waiting in line. So all that is very, very helpful in the long run, making sure that those are all maxed out so that you have as many people inside of these things as possible. And you can see the trash is still really, really high. So we're going to go ahead and see, that's the nacho cart. Go ahead and delete that. We got the soda cart and the smoothie cart, and what is this? This is the snack cart. We will leave the snack cart and whatnot still available, and we're going to see if our cleaners can finally catch up with all this garbage that has just piled up, and we can rebuild our little roller coaster here. There we go. Brand new roller coaster, everybody. Come and try it out. That is the thing, is that in this, see if we can get that maximized out. There we go. People do see these roller coasters and they're like, ooh, hey look, brand new roller coaster, when you put it down for the first time. It's the same thing for the restaurants as well. So yeah, it just, once you put something back down in the park, it's like, ooh, look, brand new something. So it just that's how you kind of get people to come back to a different attraction. Or if you're trying to build up another area of the park, you just put up down a bunch of different things in that same area, and the people start to really show up at those places. You can also lower the prices as well, and that slowly starts to help as also. So let me take a look here. So as we're still waiting for our trash to get cleaned up, they're still working on that, still fighting that battle. We can go to the prices at the restaurants. We got several pieces of info here. We have the main entree, the fatatas. So that's about $12 currently. You can see your profit margin. You also have the sodas. You can see where price is there, and then also the amount that we're making. So we can take that down to $3. Admission, we can actually lower that to about $1, and that's and we can just say that that's like tax or something like that. I never really understood why you charge admission to a restaurant. I'm not sure what the logic on that was, but yeah, you can do that too. So we got park maps for like an atrocious amount of money. So we're going to take that down to like, there you go. You have to pay $6 for your digital or actually in your hand paper map. Which, I mean, basically, I mean, hey, it is a souvenir item at this point. So I guess we should be charging for paper maps at this point. So it does kind of make sense. Don't want that, but that does make sense. So we can lower our prices here for like the sodas and whatnot. And also our admission. Got a flamingo rescued. Very, very cool. So we got all that going on. They're slowly getting the trash taken care of. Slowly getting there. Almost got it cleaned up. See when they do it here. You can watch it right up here. They almost have it. Slowly getting it cleaned up. There we go. So we have one. So we can exit to the menu, or we can also just continue playing. We're going to continue playing for right now. But yeah, a lot you can do in this game, and it ends up being a lot of fun. So we can come to the bathroom here. We also got the admission for those. So I usually like to take those down to just a buck. So only making about 90 cents, but still. Don't want to charge people too much for having to go to the bathroom. Still want to make a profit, but you know, it's nice not to have to make them pay that much. But yeah, so I enjoyed this game. This was a very fun game playing, and I had a lot of crazy stuff that I ended up doing with it that at some point we'll have to get into with a video. But that's just the basic rundown on SeaWorld Adventure Park Tycoon. Honestly, what I think is one of the best games out there. It's very, very detailed, especially when it came to the financial side of things, and so made it a lot of fun. So now we got guests complaining about the price that we have on there, so we can lower that, and that should help out. But yeah, they're getting annoyed with the wait line as well, so we can't do a whole lot about that other than build more attractions with more animals and whatnot, and that will cause everybody to be a little bit more happier. Now, unlike Roller Coaster Tycoon, what you don't have is you don't have like advertisement campaigns. You don't have there's a bunch of different things that you don't have, but this game really does have its own unique take on stuff, which is certainly fun, and I definitely enjoy it. But yeah, there's a ton of space out here that you can use to build out your park, and it can become quite fun and very, very interesting at the same time what all you can do. So anyways, that's going to be it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this quick little view of SeaWorld Tycoon, and we will see you guys here next time when hopefully we're going to go crazy and build out SeaWorld Orlando. Yes, we're going to try and actually use all of the stuff that we have in the game to actually build out the current SeaWorld Orlando. I think it could be a lot of fun. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you guys here next time. Bye-bye.